What's going on, everybody? Bone Cunningham here with Slightly Biased Sports Talks, another episode, July 29th, 2021, with Milan Stanchu as always. And a guest this week, it's Jelani Reid. You can find him on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram at the Jelani Reid. Also, Read Between the Lines and Northside Talks as well on those podcasts. So, Jelani, how's it going, man?
Well, thank you for having me, guys. I'm a supporter of the show, so I was waiting for my call, and obviously, I'm always ready when called upon. But you guys are the GOATs, so I'm glad to be here. Let's go.
Sir Milan, what do we want to start with today? Football, basketball, Olympics. We got a lot to talk about. So where do we want to start off?
Considering that there's not really much to talk about in the footy aspect of the world right now, I think we should go into that really quick. There's only really two big things that have happened in the last week. You want me to introduce it or should I?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. Well, first and foremost, we've actually got a Manchester United fan in the building. We got Jelani Reid, Mr. Man United.
Yeah.
I know you're happy about this Rafael Varane signing. Officially a done deal per Fabrizio Romano, announced by Man United as well. How do you feel about this as a Man United fan? Like, what do you think this does to your team? Does this, is this the piece that you guys needed? Does this push you to, title contention with City, European contention, and whether it be the Europa League, Champions League, whatever it is? Do you think this is what you needed to push you guys over the edge?
Well, first of all, I'm happy that we've got Sancho finally in the building, years in the making. And then we got Varane. And, he's someone who I've appreciated for a while. Like, he's one of my favorite guys in the back end who's playing this sport. He's always been, top tier for me, like just as a fan. So I'm glad that he's coming through. And you know what? It gives us hope. We've been waiting for the glory days to come back. Let's face it, we had a pretty good year, finished second in, EPL last year. So we're only trying to look up right now. We've had we finished twice in the EPL, twice in the last 5 years. We finished second. So, and we finished third that 1 year in 2020. And, on the other side, though, we finished sixth twice in the last 5 years. And that's what happens when we have high expectations. So with Man U, it's really two ends of the spectrum. You could get big signings, which we've seen in the past. And they haven't really panned out. But on the other side of things, the recent signings that we've had has, really geared us towards a good future. And like I said, we could build off of what we did last season. So I do think this will help. At center back, we got him in his prime. Varane's in his prime. We got Lindelof, Maguire. You got all those guys back there. Obviously, Jones is coming off of injury. Bailly. So look, I think that this is what we needed. And I'm glad. A lot of people are like, oh, Varane, he's not going to do anything. He's not going to shush. Okay, just watch and learn. Okay, it's going to be something special. And just to, add to my point, we've had the academy have successes in terms of finding talent, right? Brandon Williams, McTominay, Greenwood, Rashford over the years, right? And with the successes of our program, of our developmental program and strategy, we've had, good signings as of late to build off of what we've done in the academy. So with all that's going on in the organization, I think that it does spell, some good fortunes for us in the future. It's all reliant upon Solskjaer and what he's going to do with the talent. You have the talent at your disposal. What are you going to do to be with the cities, with the Chelseas of EPL football? Because we've already seen it time and time again. It comes down to consistency. It comes down to your strategy. And at times he's been good at it. At times he hasn't. And not really talking about Varane here, but when you're looking at the offensive side of the ball, we've had certain struggles. That's why we haven't won any, league titles in a minute, because we're always focused on counterattack. But there's some times where we fail to have matches where we finish. We need to know how to finish. We need to know how to come, above and beyond in certain competitions. But I feel really good about this. And yes, I feel like we are a true contender this year.
Spoken like a true Man United fan right there. Honestly, I'm very interested in seeing how Rafael Varane does in the Premier League. Me and Bowen have been talking a lot lately about all the stupid pundits that we've seen saying, "Oh, I think he's going to need some time to adapt.
Well, yeah,
he's
no,
not going to have his hand held like he did by Varane back in."
what?
Please shut
I think they
up. I
failed
beg
to
you. Like,
remember where
please.
he was playing before. Did they fail
Listen,
to remember that?
One,
And he has the
two,
championship
three,
pedigree.
4 Champions Leagues, 4 of them. 4
He's
of them.
bringing it here. We don't know about that. He knows about that. So yeah, I'm gonna get.
Listen, a back line of looks to be like a prime Luke Shaw right now. Rafael Varane, getting better. Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka is serious. That's serious business. That's going to be difficult to break down. Me personally, I think that's going to be a difficult defense to break down throughout the league.
Right.
Wan-Bissaka is one of the best defensive fullbacks I've seen in a very, very long time. This guy, he'd rather die than let someone get past him, honestly. This guy would rather take a bullet to the head before he lets someone get past him. But just overall, that team, it's being built properly. But as a United fan, I have to ask you, what are your thoughts on Ole? Do you think he's the man? Because me personally, I think he's a good manager, but not a great manager. And I think he's just not at United level yet. But I think he doesn't know what to do with this amount of talent. I think when you've got to, like, I think Sancho is a good signing, but I don't think maybe it was exactly what you guys needed, considering you guys have like some Diallo coming up through the ranks. Right. You got Mason Greenwood, right? You got so many attacking players. It's more so the midfield that really needs some work.
Yes.
The defense is obviously a place to start. Dean Henderson definitely going to be a good up and coming goalkeeper. But what are your thoughts overall on Ole, and do you see him as the man going forward?
Yeah, like I said before, and you just pointed out, like, you got the talent in the building, right? And it's been that way for the past few years since he's come in after Mourinho. The thing about Solskjaer is does he have that voice in the locker room? Does he have the passion to really drive these guys to the next level? Like, can he push them? I think that's what we need. We need a guy that can push these guys, because when you have a good squad, but no like fire within you, you're not going to win anything. And that's what's happened, right? And we've seen in the past when we were at the top, with Sir Alex Ferguson, he had that passion, he had that fire, he had the mindset. Does Solskjaer have that mindset? That's what I'm really focused on. I believe in him, right? I'm someone who backs him. Obviously, he's my manager. I'm going to back him whenever I can. But I do also point out the fact that there are times where us fans were like, what are you doing? Right? What are we getting from you? What are we seeing from you? Right? So again, we have the team. If you're talking about the best teams in the PL right now, you can't fail to mention us. That's not even biased. You just can't fail to mention us. But I think in order to win this whole thing, it's not even the team itself. It's him. So I'm expecting him to really push these guys this season, because there's a goal and we're close. We have the team for it. We have the system for it, but it's up to us to really get there. So it's up to him.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Bowen, as a France guy, how do you feel about Varane joining United? I know obviously United is a rival club for you, but how do you feel overall about this signing for United?
It's a wonderful signing. It just shows, not more on Varane, I'm going to talk about more on United this season. It just shows what they're up for. They're pushing all the chips in the table right into the middle. They got Sancho, they got Varane, they're linked with Camavinga, they're linked with some really big players. They've spent a lot of money, and they're clearly shown the willingness to spend and go for it. It feels like they have a perfect team in place to go challenge for the title. Will they? Probably. They'll probably make it a closer run of it this year than they did last year, even though they were up in the top 2 into January. But for me, Milan, Jelani, I totally agree with you guys. Milan, I agree with you in the sense that, is Ole the top class manager that can deliver a title? I don't know. But Jelani, as you said, the squad is in place, right? The squad is exactly in position to go win a league title. And now the question is just, can they do it? They've played pretty well against City in the last couple of years. Ole, for me, I think he sets up a bit too defensively in big games, but hey, if it gets results, it gets results, right? So I just think, United, they've been looking for these big signings to pay off for years. And they've made 2 really smart signings, getting Varane to really solidify that back line, and Sancho, who's a young, very talented prospect who's going to come right into his own. And then once Rashford gets back, I mean, just the amount of depth in that squad is so much better just based off those two signings alone. And in the Premier League, you need depth. We saw with City last year how they had two first 11s that you could roll out to basically win the league with. And United didn't have that. And I think that hurt them both in the Prem and in Europe. So now they have depth. And yeah, they're going to be serious contenders for the first time in probably 9 years.
Yeah, and one more thing too, Milan, I just wanted to say, one thing I do like about Solskjaer is, the strategies and systems he has on the road. We're a really good road team, and to win a title, you have to be a good road team.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, for me is actually a good manager. Like, I think a lot of people make him out to be just this horrible manager who doesn't know what he's doing. I think he knows what he's doing, but I think the job, it's similar for me in terms of Arteta. I think Arteta knows exactly what he's doing. I think he's a great manager as well, but I think this job personally is not his level yet. I think he's just a step below it, and I don't think he should be taking it on because it's too much responsibility, right? When you're at United, you're expected to win at all costs. When you're at Arsenal, it's a historic team, 49 games unbeaten straight. That's a England record. No one has beaten that, right? The only team to go invincible. These teams need leaders that will, that are experienced, that know what they're trying to do. But these guys, they're not ready for the big time yet, in my personal opinion. Hopefully I'll be proven wrong, and these guys both challenge for top 4 this year. United potentially for a league title, Arsenal for Champions League football. I'd love to see it. But in terms of Ole right now, I just hope he gets it right, because, like you guys said, the team is put on a silver platter for him at this point. They're still in for a midfielder as well. They're going to potentially pick up Kamavinga, great young talent. Going to be able to maybe have Matic as a rotation role, which is fantastic. Matic, when he's on the pitch and when he's doing the right things, he's a great player. But yeah, on to another French center back that came from La Liga. Jules Koundé has signed for Chelsea, apparently, according to Fabrizio Romano. But apparently it's in the ballpark of around 30 million plus Kurt Zuma. Bit of an interesting deal. Don't know if it was exactly needed, because as we know, like, they're one of the first teams to win a Champions League without a striker. They're still on the market for a striker, and we don't really know if they'll get one, because Haaland was actually quoted this week as saying, as he hopes it does not happen, because it's a lot of money for one player. Apparently doesn't want to go for 175 million. He's an interesting guy. He's a mini Ibra in that sense. He says some interesting pressers every now and again. But what do you guys think about Chelsea? Do you guys think what?
Milan, you think that? I mean, come on, man. I can see where he's coming from in the sense that he doesn't want all that pressure on him. If he goes for 175 million, that's a ridiculous amount of pressure.
Yeah, but that's what he's worth. Like, you're talking about, you could argue, if you want to argue, that he's the best young player in this game. Mm-hmm. And he will dominate this decade. That's where he is. So if you're Chelsea, I mean, they put away, according to sources, they put away 130 mil euros away to probably secure a striker. And that would be him, right? So I think there's no risk factor here. It's justified. If you're going to pay that money for him, it's justified. And there's also someone else that I've been thinking about for them. And when you're talking striker, that's Lukaku. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's been put in the air. A lot of people are saying Inter just doesn't want to do it. We're not letting him go. He's 28 years old. He still has time to produce. He's been producing. So, what I think though is, even though these reports are saying there's no Lukaku signing to be expected, you never know. There might be talks behind the scenes of a potential transfer, in that area. But when you're talking about, this topic, Haaland, I think that this is where you need to go. There's no risk factor. He's one of the best, if not the best young player in the game. Big spending is what you're going to have to do. And you know what? If you get him, that just builds off of what you already done. Your 2021 champs for the UCL, this just builds. So you never know.
It's interesting because the thing is, Haaland, I think he's worth 175 million, but that's because the market is so inflated at this point that 175 million for a young talent that's already scored a good 25 goals a season consistently isn't much. You know what I mean? Like that's almost penny money, and it's
How about that? That's
considering
a
this
lot of money for any player.
Yeah, but then you think about the fact that Harry Maguire was 85 million. You know what I mean?
But you're never getting a return on that investment. You're never selling him back out to the market for anything else. So like you're either keeping him for his career, hoping it pans out to a great career, but you're never getting close to that if you want to sell him again. So that's the risk they're taking.
You mean Haaland?
Yeah.
I think a good, when Madrid comes calling, I think a good 300 million bid by the time it's 2027. I'm sure that'll come around.
That might have me.
I mean, I'm just saying that's a lot of money, man. Like 175 million euros. That's a lot. Like that's a significant. That's career making or breaking.
I mean, but they're doing this for a reason. Like they would do this for a reason because you're looking at the mid-decade. By that time, you know what he's going to provide. He's going to be that guy. Like when you're talking about football, he's going to be that dude. So I think it would be like a contract, like a 4 or 5 year contract or something like that. So you have that window right there. I think that would make all the sense in the world, honestly.
No, I wholeheartedly agree, but I just don't know if, considering it seems like Haaland doesn't really want to move right now. So do you guys think, like, is there a striker that they can get that's, you know, not maybe of Haaland's level, but someone that can propel them to, you know, potentially go back to back in the Champions League? You know, Tuchel's a great manager and all, but he honestly doesn't have a forward because Timo Werner honestly plays more like of a winger than he does as a striker. I mean, I don't know if they could pull off a Lewandowski deal potentially, but I doubt it. That would be fantastic to see, you know, Lewandowski in the Premier League, just coming out of his prime, about 32, 33 years of age, but he's still balling. He's coming off his best goal scoring season. Who else do you guys think they could pull off if Haaland doesn't work?
Pretty much anybody under the sun, if they have that kind of money to spend, like Lukaku, Jelani, you mentioned it, Griezmann, but the wages are a bit too high. Pretty much anyone they want if they have that kind of money to spend, really. And that's a lazy take, but like that's just the facts. If you have that kind of money to spend, you can buy anybody you want.
Yeah, for me, I'd say Lukaku, honestly.
I was reading one of the most unreliable sources in Italian football in Gazzetta dello Sport, but I was reading that apparently they offered Lukaku 10 million a year wage and he rejected it.
Oh, really?
It could be completely unreliable.
That's what I'm saying. Like they did speak about it. Like both sides, they spoke about a potential transfer already. And a lot of people are saying that it just won't happen. But what I think is there still might be efforts to get this done. So I'm not going to say no to that yet. I still think that we should just throw it out there, see what happens. Because, you know, if you bring him in, like, hey, it's something serious. That's Lukaku right there. He can still produce. I do like the Lewandowski one, Milan, that you suggested, because he's still producing as well, even at his age. So, but I think Lukaku for sure. That's the one.
We'll see what happens, but it looks to be that there could be an opportunity that Chelsea does not sign a striker going into the season, which will be tragic for their club because it looks like they're going to be losing Tammy Abraham as well. Why?
Good spot. They're the defending Champions League winners. Tragic. That's a bit hyperbolic. No?
I just believe in Werner anyway.
I think Werner's a great player, but I don't think he's scoring goals. And if you're not, if you don't have a player that's scoring goals for you, what's
the point?
You just lost Giroud. Giroud is their top scorer in Europe. Do you realize that Giroud was your top goal scorer in a European Championship winning season? That's a problem. Tammy Abraham looks to be on his way out as well.
That's it.
Werner's never been a good goal scorer. That's the problem.
He's got to finish.
Here's the issue with why people need to stop this like notion that Werner is supposed to be scoring and that he's missing all these big chances. He was up until the last season at Rebel Leipzig. He was never a good scorer. He had, I think, around 27 goals in one of the easiest one of the easiest leagues to score in, the Bundesliga. He had 27 goals. Other than that, he was never really a good goal scorer. He used his pace to create more. He used his pace to make chances, and he's fantastic at that. We saw it throughout the Champions League final. A good 3 chances in the first 40 minutes were made through Timo Werner.
3-0. It should have been 3-0.
Were made through Timo Werner. So we know what he's bringing on that side of the football pitch, but he doesn't score. So they need a striker that will bang in the goals.
I'll bet both of you guys right now that he scores. I'll bet both you guys a beer right now. End of next year at Ryerson next year, 20 goals all competitions.
All competitions, maybe.
I'll
give you 25 all competitions.
I'm
I'll
not
take
confident
it.
in the 20.
I'll give you
You're not taking
25
all
all
comps?
competitions.
Give me maybe 25 or something like that.
Give me 25.
Or like,
Because listen,
I'll
you
throw it
can
down,
you
then.
can stop out in the Carabao Cup. You can
I'll
stop
throw
out
it
in the
down.
Carabao
I'll
Cup.
throw it down.
all right, write that
25
down.
25 goals.
Write that down.
Put that on record
You
right
know
now.
what's funny? I was watching before the show started. I was watching a compilation of him, missing all his his chances. It's actually so funny. I don't even know why I stumbled upon that on YouTube. But no, like I think like I agree with Milan because you need someone that you could rely on to get you those chances, to get points on the board. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a good player, obviously, but yeah, that's the only thing in terms of his game that I consider a weakness.
If they don't manage to get one of those big names, for me, if they're looking for a young signing that's could perform in Europe, look no further than Jonathan David. This guy's coming off a league unwinning season.
It's interesting.
Balled in the Belgian league, obviously not a major league, but he balled there. He was destruction, bro. This guy killed it, right? I think a move to a major league, it's not far off for him.
Right.
I'd love to see him at Milan. Obviously, I don't think that'll happen, but I'd love to see him playing in that sort of system. But I think Jonathan David, good on both feet, fast, strong. I think he could be perfect for Chelsea if they're looking for a younger striker that they can't pull off a deal for either Haaland, Lukaku, whoever it may be.
One more name. Harry Kane.
Yeah.
How much would they have to pay Daniel Levy to get that across the line?
Harry Kane.
To another London club? I don't know about another London club.
Yeah.
City, I can see. I don't know about another.
I don't know if
London
that's gonna
club.
happen.
250 million euros.
It's got to be steep. It has to be something.
It'd be steep.
Yeah. At that point, you're definitely getting dealt with a financial fair play. I would hope so,
Yeah.
but you never know what
It's
the rules
gotta-
there. But
it's got to be 200 something.
You're right. You're in the
Wow.
200s. It's not.
Or
It's
maybe-
not a,
okay,
as,
or
as
maybe
Gary
like
Neville said, it's
just
not a
under
1
that.
in front of that. It's a 2. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know about. I don't even know if Harry Kane is the one though, because Harry Kane's great, but they need a fast-paced striker because they play a style where they have to track back at all times, right? So they
Werner
need
not
someone
on, Werner on one wing. Throw whoever else you want on the other. Harry Kane
and
plays
have the
a
guy sit
goal
up
as he
top.
played
Eh?
at the Euros. They win the league by 10 points. No doubt in my mind.
Really?
Wow.
Wait. Do you think Chelsea's gonna win the league this year, Bone?
It sounds like
If they
it.
added
That's
Harry
it.
Kane, yes.
Okay, then that's a no because they're not getting him.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
not
think
even
they're
a hot
getting him
take,
either.
man. He's been the best player in the league for years on years.
I agree, but
And you
I
add
don't
him to
think
the team that just won the Champions League?
Tottenham had him for years, and he was the best player in the league.
But you're
then,
putting
and they
on
couldn't win
maybe
putting
anything.
him
that
on a
could
much
get done.
better team with players around him, though.
He had a great team around him, bro. He had Heung-min Son. He had a great
I'm
defense
saying, though, he
behind
can
him. A
raise that
fantastic
Chelsea side to even
goalkeeper.
greater heights.
I don't know. I don't think For me, they're not better than City. For me, they're great, but they're not better
It'd be
than
close.
City.
It'd be close.
It'd be
It'd be
close.
that.
In a 38-week span, I don't take Chelsea in a league title unless they make they have to make an extortionate amount of signings. I don't think that's happening this summer.
Yeah.
If anything else, it's a fun thing to talk about. So
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. You guys want to move on to basketball?
yeah.
Sure thing. Yeah.
All right. So in terms of basketball news, just a little bit really to talk about in terms of free agency talks. There's been talks that Lowry and DeRozan could team up on the LA Lakers. What are you guys' thoughts on? I don't know. It's weird to me because they spent all these years complaining about LeBron, this, that, and the other, getting the asses handed to them by LeBron James, and all of a sudden, if you can't beat him, just join him. They all team up with LeBron. They're probably gonna compete for a ring come next season. What do you guys think about that?
And I'm someone who doesn't really like super teaming and joining up. I'm an advocate for that. You guys have seen it. So I don't know how I feel about it. I prefer what the Bucks did, get it done with your one guy. But those are my guys, Lowry, DeRozan. Like I would love to see them win. I'd love to see them play together again. But yeah, it's the factor of LeBron. Like it's the LeBron factor. Like you couldn't beat this guy for like half a decade, and then you're gonna join him. I mean, does that look soft? Quite. But I do think DeMar's going there. Like I honestly think it's gonna happen.
You think that's a done deal?
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen. This free agency, or something.
Then
Like,
I
or
hope you
trade,
guys
I don't know.
understand, listeners, viewers. I hope you understand that means it's happened already. Because there's some, I don't know what kind of voodoo or juju that this guy possesses, but everything this guy's ever predicted has occurred. Everything. You guys
Basically,
go on this guy's Twitter at Jelani Reid, you'll find it all. I
the
promise you,
yeah,
it's
the
done.
only two things I will say, because I look, when you're wrong, you got to admit when you're wrong. So I do get a lot of things right, thankfully. Things I've gotten wrong: Dallas Cowboys winning playoff games, Penguins winning playoff series. And the one thing was, I was like, Trae Young, we shouldn't compare him to Steph Curry. When he was coming out in the draft, I was like, he's not going to be Steph Curry. He's going to be good, but he's not going to be great, but he's great. So I got that one wrong too. But other than that, I do, guys, listen to me. I think is going to happen either DeMar or Buddy Hield. Why? Because Buddy Hield, they're talking right now, like as we speak, with the Kings, with a deal where they'd send Harrell, Kuzma. or KCP over to Sacramento, along with a pick, I believe. So
Yes.
I don't know. LeBron's not going to settle. That's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to make a splash.
Well, we got our local neighborhood Sacramento Kings fan in the building, Bowen Cunningham. Bowen Cunningham, back to you. What do you got to say about that?
Yeah. I think that's a sideways move for the Kings, man. If they pick up, I mean, like, yeah, you're dumping Hield's salary, but you're taking on Harrell and Kuzma, who will not want to be there after winning a title. At least Kuzma did, and going from LA to Sacramento, like it's a pretty lateral move. I just don't understand Sacramento. I want Sac to like go up and trade for Scotty Barnes tonight. I don't think it'll happen, but I mean, it'd be a great move for LeBron and the Lakers because, you know, Buddy Hield's a great three-point shooter, and when you can have him as a sixth man on that Lakers team, you're looking at a deep playoff run again if everyone's healthy. So, but on the topic of DeRozan to the Lakers, do Lakers fans understand the concept of floor spacing and cap space? Because I don't think that is possible at all. If Lowry goes there, if DeRozan goes there, like, how's that going to work out? You have DeRozan, who, yes, he's a good slasher. He's a great mid-range guy. Can't shoot the three. Lowry's getting up there in age. Both of them are not going to take the mid-level or the veterans minimum. Like, I just don't see a way out. It'll happen. I can see them getting one of them, but I don't see both. Milan, what are your thoughts on that?
It's actually funny you mentioned that because I read that Lowry's actually asking for $30 million a year for 4 years. And first of all, I think that's a little overpriced for Lowry. And like, I love Lowry. I think he's great, but I don't think at his age at this point, he's already starting to regress a little bit. I don't think he should be asking for that much. Like you guys said, I don't know if they'll get both of them, but it's the NBA. Somehow, some way, something just happen out of thin air.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if it happens just because it's the NBA, but more than likely it should be only one of them. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be DeRozan over Lowry because $30 million a year for 4 years. No. It's a steep deal.
Yeah, I don't see him being a Laker. Well, Lowry, at least.
Also,
you think he's gonna go on a sign and trade to Philly potentially?
Yeah, that's the way. I'm not trying to lose him for anything. No Raptors fan wants to lose him for nothing. Because we're definitely we're not in a rebuild, we're in a retool right now. So we need parts, to get back. Because look, Nets, Bucks, all those guys, they passed us in Eastern Conference contention. So we need to get some parts back for the future. What I'm looking at is Philadelphia, and I know, I get it. You guys out there, you're complaining about Ben Simmons. I know he doesn't want to shoot. I know he has a worse shooting percentage than myself. I get it. He's not willing to dunk on 5 foot Trae Young. I know. However, space. I think that we would develop this man. We would make him a demigod. I believe so. I think that if you bring him in Toronto with our development, with our plan for his future and for his game, I think that we could definitely see something here. Okay. You don't have to put him at point guard. You could put him as a point forward. He'd be a point forward on our team. Act that way with a Fred VanVleet, with whoever we're drafting tonight, Jalen Suggs, and all those guys.
Really? Let's talk about that after.
Yeah. No, but when we're looking at Ben Simmons, I think that a lot of people are blinded by the fact that he can't shoot or doesn't want to shoot. but he has everything else. The defense. Imagine him, OG, Pascal, the length. Imagine what he could do for us. So I think that if we got him for the right price, because these rumors
They're
about
asking
what
way
they're
too much. They're
they're
asking for way
asking,
too much.
hello, they're asking for the mansion, for the pool, for the first class flight
They want Drake
tickets
too.
to
They probably
Hawaii.
want Drake as well.
They want no, it's like stop it. Okay, so I don't want to hear that. But if it's a right sign and trade with Lowry, you get him back, something like maybe a Thibault along with that. I'd love that. Do it.
I mean, Jelani, I totally agree with you, but how are we going to get this guy into the gym working on his free throw and not at Wimbledon with Maya Jama? Like, what's going on here,
Oh
man?
my gosh.
Hey, shut up, Maya
We
Jama.
got to get this guy
Shut up, Maya
focused
Jama.
on
Shut up.
basketball first. Like,
Yeah, that's the only problem. Like, I do think it's a mental thing. I believe in him, and I've always liked Ben Simmons. I was one of the first people who was like, "Yo, keep Ben with Embiid and see how it's gonna work." But I don't think that ship is there anymore. It's sailed. So, if you bring him here, though, I think our development, though, with the Heat, with the Spurs, those type of teams, those are just different organizations. I think he would definitely blossom over here in Toronto.
I see that as well. I mean, we all know Nick Nurse as as a defensive coach. He's fantastic. I can just imagine like the guy can guard 1 through 5. We all know this, right? Like the guy can guard 1 through 5. He's an elite passer. He just can't score, and it is what it is. It's a scores league at this point. But when you put him with a coach that prioritizes defensive basketball and getting the stops and going for the fast breaks, it's fantastic. This is a match made in heaven. But we'll see what'll happen, I guess. It seems to be like an extortionate amount that they want for him, whether it's from us or from Miami. Like, it's just too much. Like, I don't think he's worth all that, considering he can't score.
You guys think, I guess we have about 7 minutes left in this call, but do you guys think that, his trade value seems to be the maximum asset they could get would be CJ McCollum and, maybe some other things to kind of match out salaries? Do you think it's too much of a prisoner of the moment take from NBA media and fans? Because before Game 7, like his value was, it wasn't the highest it's ever been, but it was pretty high still. And now it seems like all you can get is kind of like a CJ McCollum type guy, like I'd say a B level guy. Is it just too much prisoner of the moment in terms of like an overreaction on Ben Simmons' value?
I think that it's you could claim that these guys are prisoners of the moment and all this recency bias, because he's a great player. He's a multiple time all-star, all NBA defensive. So he, like I said, he has the talent. It's the mental aspect. So but unfortunately that it is what it is. Like right now his value isn't even higher than guys like OG Anunoby. Let's be honest, is not. I think that you're looking at, like Bowen said, a CJ McCollum coming in. I don't know other teams interested, like Cleveland. They are interested. They've spoken with Philadelphia about that 3rd pick tonight. I just don't think it's going to be enough. A lot of people are just like, look, I watched the playoffs. I saw what it was, and it was a breakdown. It was a mental breakdown for the whole world to see. But I do think though that he will resurrect himself. He will, wherever he goes.
Me personally, I don't think that CJ McCollum level player, I think that's a little bit disrespectful to Ben Simmons. I think he's just above that, but below whatever it is they're asking for. I think he's kind of in that middle ground, and people aren't understanding that, like we're saying, the prisoners of the moment. Because if you do something elite in this game, you're worth a lot of assets. I mean, and he's an elite passer. Like, this guy has some of the best vision in the NBA. He can there's not a lot of players. Right? There's not a lot of players that can defend 1 through 5 in this league. The guy is a point forward. I mean, he just can't score. And I hate harping on this point, because I'm personally not a guy that values scoring as much as the next guy. I don't think that's why I always say I think Kyrie's overrated, this, that, and the other, because I think there's more sides to the basketball game, right? I think that when you can't defend, when a guy like Isaiah Thomas, washed up on one knee, can put up 45 on you potentially, it's just hypothetical, I think you're overrated, right? But when you can do more things on the basketball court than just one, I think you're great. I think Ben Simmons really needs to get his mind right. He needs to realize the media is going to be there no matter what, and he's got to get it together, because if he wants to become an elite player in this league, he's got to learn how to score, whether it's mid-range, whether it's driving to the basket, dunking eventually. Like, we got to see this. The guy's just over 6 foot. Come on,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, that's all I really have to say on that, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. You know, he was also my defensive player of the year pick, honestly, before the year started, because I believe in that area. And what the Raptors could do, let's say the Raptors or whoever gets him, just, you know, have him play in the post, start off in the post, give him post game, because I don't think he's going to want to shoot from outside. But ultimately, he's going to have to at least develop a mid range, at least.
I agree.
He went to the Raptors. One last question. Where would you guys see him playing? Would he be playing point, but not as more? He'd be playing obviously as a facilitator, not a shooter. Would he be playing at the 4? Would he be playing at the 5 if he went super small? Like, where do you see him fitting into that lineup?
Maybe a lot of small ball lineups would be shown. Pascal, him, OG. Like, we'd be small, but you have that. Probably small ball 5, 4 spots, something like that. I don't even see him being a point guard in our system. I just don't.
So that could be really interesting. I mean,
I would say I trust Fred with the ball more than I trust him, just because I know Fred has the cojones to shoot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can't even say like a Jalen Suggs or anybody with that number 4 pick, because that'd clearly be going over to Philly if the trade was even made. So yeah, like last question, do you guys see Simmons being moved, and if so, where?
Yeah, I think he's done in Philly. Where? That's a very good question. I'm gonna say it's either one of these teams, Toronto, either Toronto, Cleveland, or this is one that people aren't talking about, Minnesota.
Oh,
I think Minnesota would be a great spot for him. You put him with Cat, you put him with Edwards. I think D'Lo would have to leave in that deal.
Yeah.
But if they find a way to keep D'Lo, like, come on, you have D'Lo, Cat, Edwards, and him. I think that is something that Minnesota should be really, like, they were talking about it earlier, and I don't know what happened to them in these sweepstakes. So no, that's the team. That's a dark horse.
Potentially, to me, that's one of the softest teams of all time. When you match up Ben Simmons with Cat. But that's just my take on that. I think he's probably gonna end up in Miami. Somehow, some way. I don't know. I think Pat Riley is going to put up a nice package for
Jimmy
him.
Butler would kill this guy in practice, man.
Oh,
yeah,
I know.
But that could either benefit him or completely ruin this guy's career.
Yeah.
Right. I think he'll end up in Miami. I think Pat Riley will put up a good package for that. I think Miami is the prime destination. If I were him, I would probably want to go to Toronto, though, like we've been talking about throughout the last few minutes. I think Toronto would be his best fit.
Yeah.
But I think Miami would probably put up the trade, personally.
That would be that'd be something. But I guess this will wrap up part 1, and yeah, we'll be back with part 2 in just over a minute. So catch you on the other side. All right, welcome back, everybody. Part 2 with Jelani and Milan, myself, Bowen and Cunningham. So picking right off where we left off from, I guess. Milan, Olympic basketball. Do you want to break it down?
Yeah. I don't know what happened to the U.S. men's basketball team picking up arguably one of the best coaches in the history of the NBA and losing games that are easily winnable. I mean, they lost to France. I don't remember what the score was, but they lost to France. Katie only had 10 points. Evan Fournier, of all players, was the high scorer in that game.
Orlando Magic legend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They bounced back with a big win against Iran. They almost doubled their score, 120-66. But they're in a position that if they lose against the Czech Republic, they miss out on even like playing for even a bronze, like at all. Like, I don't know what happened to this U.S. team, but like, we know the talent that they have there. We saw Devin Booker had a horrific game against France. All these the better players were the players that just came off of finals that were
Booker
tired,
was
flying into Tokyo.
Right now, man. Like, he was not mentally there for that game. Let's be real.
Like, Chris Middleton was probably the best player on the court that for the U.S. in that game, and that's a problem because this guy just came off of playing 6 games in the finals, just flew into Tokyo. 13-hour time difference potentially if he's coming from the same time difference as us. I don't know what's happening. I'm honestly I don't know what the hell's going on.
Like, I don't know. I think this team is very different than teams we've seen in the past. You're comparing, a lot of people are comparing this team to 2004 team that just didn't reach their expectations. This one is very different because the roster construction makes zero sense to me. There's absolutely no defense to be found on this team. There's no defense. There's no size on this team. Who JaVale McGee? Like, come on, it's not no. And the other thing, a lot of people don't understand international basketball. I love it so much. It's a team game. It's not one-on-one. It's not KD versus whoever. It's not D-Book or Dame. It's not a single guy. It's ball movement, which we don't see in our league, NBA anymore. We see spot up three. We see jacking up shots from 40. It makes zero sense. The international game, they actually allow physicality. Wow. Yeah. Real basketball. It's not this, foul.
It's the funniest
fuck.
when you see Dame get like a smidge on her shoulder.
That's
and then
what
he
I'm
looks at
saying.
the ref. He just eyeballing the ref like, where's my call? Where's my call? Like, no, keep playing.
You're not going to get that in international basketball. That's for sure. So I love the fact that the refs are letting them play. I think the NBA refs should take note. But the other thing is, it's the expectations. It's the expectations. USA is always expected to win. I honestly still think they could get a medal out of this. Gold, I don't know, because there's Spain there, there's Argentina, there's France.
Don't sleep on Slovenia.
Luka,
Don't sleep
yeah.
on Slovenia.
Hey, this guy's crazy. But yeah, so I'm looking at like he can single-handedly beat this team right now.
No, honestly,
he could.
Honestly,
he could. And so I'm looking at that, but the reason why they're really struggling is I just think it's the roster construction. Like it just doesn't make sense. There's a lot of guys that do the same thing, a lot of guys that want the ball, that command the basketball. And there's limited ball movement, like I said earlier, on this team. And as for Popovich, I think he's fantastic, goated coach. And I used to love the Spurs. They're one of the reasons why I like basketball in the first place. But the problem with him is ever since Coach K stopped coaching the USA team, he's looked very pedestrian. After Tim Duncan retired, he's looked very pedestrian. If you're talking about the Spurs, what have they done? Okay. If you're talking about USA, I think he's 12-6 or 11-6 in their last 18 or 17 games for Team USA. That's good enough. You're supposed to be winning games all the time. I think Coach K was undefeated for years. So I think at the end of the day, there's a big problem because a lot of people are like, what is going on here? It's very surprising to see them coming out flat, like all of them just flat.
Do you think it could have something to do with the Team USA guys? Like they're at this point in their careers where most of them are pretty established, like Dame, KD, pretty much everybody on the roster bar Keldon Johnson. And, a lot of them have big money in the NBA. They don't really play for their country as hard as other countries would. Do you think that plays into it at all? Or
I don't think so. What I would say is maybe it's the no fans factor. Maybe it's the restrictions on the Olympic site, the Olympic Village, that's making guys like their mental might be off. And then you add Drew, Middleton and Booker here. So they're coming off of playing a tough finals. There's all these factors that might be playing into it. But, I've heard reports that players are disgruntled. They're like, why are we losing these games? What's Pop doing? And some people apparently called out Pop's system. And that's another thing. Like, why are you running the Spurs system? It's not it. It's just not it right now for Team USA. They got to wake up because the world has caught up to them. Okay. Are they still USA? Of course they are.
They still have the most talent. They still have the most talent, and it's undeniable.
Yeah.
They should be easily still winning gold.
Yeah. But what I agree with is what Fournier said. Like, this is not a one-on-one game. This is international. This is a team game. This is, ball movement. This is strategy. So that's why we're not seeing it, because you got Dame and these guys acting like they're going to win single-handedly. It's not going to work that way.
No, I hear that. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's gonna happen with the men's team. I think that eventually, I think they're gonna end up with a medal either way. I don't think they'll lose against the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
I'm predicting silver. I think whoever they're gonna come up against in the finals, I think they're gonna lose.
Slovenia.
I don't know. I'm not trusting. I would if Luka wins this ring.
Oh my God.
Holy smoke! My Twitter's gonna blow up. My app is done, bro.
Might as well mute this guy.
No, right now, do it right now because you don't want to see me on the socials if Luka wins. It'll be better than Luka winning a championship. First of all, Luka, everyone clowned on him when he came into the league, saying it's honestly harder to score in Europe than it is.
I was
there.
one of the few guys that was with him.
He was right. He was right.
Look, this guy, I said it day one. People in high school, because it was grade 12 at that time, they're like, Luka Doncic, who's this guy? He's not going to translate. He's going to be another European guy. I said, no. First of all, this guy's been in the league since he was like 11. Okay, he got an MVP in EuroLeague. This is Eurobasket. This is the second league,
the second
either than NBA.
Difficult.
Yeah, so he's been doing this, and if he does get it, I think a medal. He's basically by himself. He is. I
don't know a single other player on Slovenia.
If you got a gold medal, oh my gosh, gold status starts like for real starts.
It's so annoying that these Yugoslavian countries all split up. I was like, oh, maybe he has Nurkic. Nope. Oh, maybe he has Vucevic. Nope.
Nope.
All these guys are in different countries. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine if all of them were on one team? Like Jokic, Nurkic, Vucevic, Doncic. Dario Saric.
Hey guys, don't forget my guy, the Dragon Dragic.
Goran Dragic. Oh my!
That's my
that team would literally win everything. I think that US would never be able to beat that team. Honestly,
bro. I think USA, they're so boastful. They're all like, oh, we're USA. The land of the whatever. Okay, look. European basketball is fantastic. And the other thing I like about them, especially their bigs, they're strong. They grow up differently there. That's why Vucevic, Jokic, all these guys, Nurkic, who I like as well, they can hang with these guys in the NBA. They're not scared. They're not. France, do you really think France was scared of these guys? No. And we're acting like they didn't have NBA talent as well. France has NBA talent. All these teams have NBA talent. So USA better watch out, honestly, because in the coming years, it's going to be different. It's not going to be USA just slapping guys like it's 1992.
No, most definitely. Unless we have anything else to add on that.
One more question for you guys. If Luka won the gold medal, would ESPN anoint him as the best player in the league?
No.
If he won the gold?
No.
I think they'd be sending out a tweet that says Luka best player in the league. I think they'd do that.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
A gold winner was Slovenia, though?
They have their golden children, though. They have their golden children. Luka isn't one of them.
Because the other thing is, they don't like, first of all, they don't like international players. We've seen the discourse on Giannis after he won the championship, just not giving him the credit. Luka, they try to do the same thing. They're like, oh, he's the golden child, but he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. And also, I think people would be like, where's LeBron? Where's Curry? They're not playing. Kawhi's not playing. So they always have the built-in excuses. So I would have to say no on that, Mark.
Yeah, no, I just don't see that happening. There's just everyone hates to like Luka unless you actually like Luka in the league. Like people just do not want to see this guy succeed for some reason. They're kind of happy that he's on a team that being built around him. Really, like when your second best player is stealing the playoff P nickname throughout the playoffs.
Yeah,
I don't know. I hope people eventually realize this guy's legit. This guy will be the best in the world soon. But
I got Giannis.
I got Giannis. You got Giannis ahead of him.
Yeah, I've always got Giannis.
I like Luka's game more. I think that's what it is. I like an overall game more.
That's going to be the debate.
I respect Giannis a lot. Giannis a lot.
Right.
Let me ask you this: will Luka ever win a Defensive Player of the Year? No.
Oh no. But but he'll never be the top assist man. You know what I mean? Like Luka
but Giannis has that on both ends.
Yeah, but there's more. There's also passing. There's a handle.
You go down the hill. You can't stop this man. I think it's clear Giannis is the best player in the world right now.
Giannis just has to, all he has to do.
Not better than KD for me.
Do what he has to do in the paint. I've been telling this guy for years. You don't have to take these 3-pointers. Just be a Shaq. If he does that, then no one's stopping this guy.
I can't get him ahead of KD yet because KD was literally half a shoe size off of sending that guy home. So
Fair
let's pump the brakes on that on the best player in the league there. He's the best player on the winner of the championship this year, but he's not the best player in the league. No.
Okay, that's fair.
I'd still take Giannis.
Really over KD.
To each their own.
It is what it is. We'll see what happens this season. I got Brooklyn winning it all, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, me too. They're gonna play the Warriors in the finals.
Warriors.
That's a hot take.
It's gonna be a fantastic storyline final. KD playing his old team. Steph Curry is looking across the way, sees Kyrie. The shot 2016, sees his guy KD, left me for no reason. Sees Harden, I owned you. All these things. It's gonna be fantastic finals. Watch.
Andrew Wiggins making it to his first NBA finals. Congrats.
No A Wiggins. No, it's not gonna be Wiggins. Why? Because there's gonna be a big splash made by the Warriors this offseason. They're gonna manage this properly. They're gonna get another star in there. Why? Because Steph is 33 or something like that. Clay, he's getting up there. Dre, they're running on empty really soon. So
98 Bulls type beat, yeah.
Yeah, no, they have to operate like the Spurs did when those guys got a bit older. They still managed. So I think the Warriors are gonna make a splash. Maybe Bradley Beal, something like that. That does make them small, but I think they're going to the finals.
I'm gonna keep an eye on that.
Would you throw Beal at the 2 and Clay at the 3?
Yes, that's how it's gonna work, honestly. And I know they wanted Dame or something like that. I don't know how that would have worked. It would have been a lethal backcourt offensively, but defensively, liability.
Fair enough. Milan, any more basketball talk or?
Yes, sir. So tonight, the 2021 NBA draft is happening. The Raps have the 4th pick in the draft. Detroit's got the number 1 pick. I don't know. There's been a few tweets, from Woj as always, spoiling some of the picks already.
I muted him. I'm not trying to get
stayed off Twitter, guys. I've stayed off Twitter. So
I got spoiled
Nice.
for like NHL draft. I don't like getting spoiled for all these things.
Nice. Well, I mean, I feel like we're all in consensus here that Cade is probably going first, though.
Yeah.
My namesake over here. Yes, sir.
Cunningham,
yes, sir. Mr. Cunningham.
Congratulations,
Mr.
Bowen. Congrats.
Thank you. I
Family
appreciate
man.
that. Yes. Where do you guys I know this has been talked about to death in terms of projections, but do you see Cade ever winning? Like, do you see him as an MVP guy? Do you see him as a multiple All NBA guy? Where do you kind of see his career projecting if he ends up in Detroit, which it sounds like he will?
Cade, he's a good player. He reminds us of Grant Hill. He's smooth on the floor offensively. He sees the floor properly. He has good size and everything. I think he could be a star in this league. And Detroit, honestly, a lot of people, like, it's the Pistons. A lot of people don't care about them anymore because they're not as good as they once were in like 2000s and everything. Yep. But they have one of the better young rosters in the league. You have Cade entering now, Isaiah Stewart, good center, Killian Hayes. He has what it takes to be, a good player in this league. Just has to blossom, very raw. Sadiq Bey, he's first team all rookie. All these guys are there. They got Dumbuya, they got Grant. So it's a good team. I think Cade, though, he will embrace Motor City. I think he's going to become a star. Some all-star games I do see in his future. But the guy, like, if you're going to ask me who has the most star potential in this draft, it's between Jalen Green or Evan Mobley, and then I put Jalen Suggs at number 3 on that list, and then Cade. If you're gonna ask me, order the top 4 from 1 to 4, Green, Mobley, maybe like Suggs up in there. It's a 2A, 2B type of thing, and then Cade. That's why I want Green so bad. I want to trade up for this guy. You put him in Toronto, he's the scorer we need. It's not gonna happen though. Okay, it's not gonna happen. He's going to Houston or Cleveland tonight. Mobley, he's also someone we could use. Not gonna happen. We have to trade up. Cleveland wants a ransom for this guy. So no, but Suggs as well. He's gonna be a star. Those top 4 are gonna be stars. But Cade, all-star, pretty good player. He's gonna be reliable for Detroit, like if they want to be something in the future.
Well, and what are your thoughts? And then I got a question for the both of you.
I'm gonna be honest, boys. You two are the big college sports guys. You guys know more about these guys coming into the league than I do. I keep up with here and there. Like, I really kept up with Luka because I heard about him through the Twitter spheres. I've heard this guy was coming through. That's why I kept up with him coming into the league. Other than that, I don't know much. I don't know much about Cade's game.
Yep.
I did watch a little bit of Jalen Suggs coming in. Like I watched some highlights here and there, seeing what we could potentially draft. I think Jalen Suggs would be fantastic for our team. I think whoever we were able to pick up tonight, they're going to be great. Like we've said so many times before, the Raps are a great development place for young players. So I think whoever we end up picking up today, it'll be
solid pick.
It'll be a hell of a pick. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Jelani. If you're the Raptors tonight, like you got the fourth pick. Who are you taking?
Depends who's taken.
Yeah,
right?
That's the other thing. Who's already taken? I just think don't think too hard about this. Don't. It's Suggs because I'm seeing Barnes. I don't want him. I like him in terms of his size. He's long, just like Pascal and OG, but the offense just isn't there. So it's basically us getting another OG Anunoby right now. I don't think we really need that. We need either a playmaker or a scorer. And a playmaker is Suggs. And especially because Lowry's gone, he's going to be gone. So you plug him in there, you put him with Fred VanVleet in the backcourt. That's our backcourt for the future. It's really easy. Don't mess this up, okay? If you want to trade up, do it. Because, again, Jalen Green, he's the most elite scorer in this draft. He will be the best scorer in this draft when it's all said and done. Athletic guy, good two-guard. But I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think we're going to trade up to 2. That might be a bit too high. 3 for Mobley, it's very possible. But what does Cleveland want? That's the only problem. I think out of those 2 guys to trade up for, we would prefer getting Mobley because we had issues in, with the interior all year long. But with Suggs, you're getting a guy who could be plugged in there, and he's our floor general for the next how many years?
Well, let me ask you couple more questions. You're the Pistons. Are you taking Cunningham? Are you trading down? You have the first pick. Who are you going with? Is it Cade? Is it Mobley?
Yeah, I think they just like the Raptors, don't think too hard about this one. Is Cade Cunningham.
Okay.
I would think if they did get Green, I think that would be very intriguing. Because again, most star potential, biggest name in this draft because we've known him for a while. He was number 1 in high school and all that stuff. But Cade, he's the safest pick there, right? He's the safest pick. I know lottery is it's really lottery. Like you never know what you're getting. But if you're looking at Cade Cunningham, what he can do on the floor, all around game, it really would help Dwayne Casey to get a guy like that, a young guy like that with that much upside because he has a lot of upside. So go with Cunningham for sure.
And one more thing, I'll give my take on it, and I'll give the floor to you guys. Who do you think is the best player in this draft in 5 years from now? It's 2026. We're looking back on the 2021 draft. Who's the best player of this draft? I'm going to say right now, Evan Mobley. I'm going to say Evan Mobley is the guy we're going to be looking back on in 5 years saying he should have gone number 1. But what do you guys think on that?
I got a few suspects. Mobley for sure. He's an intriguing name. Green, like I've already said, and Suggs. I'm looking at those 3. If you're looking at the back end of the top 10, Kuminga, I think he's going to the Warriors at 7 if they, given no trades.
Yep.
I'm going to say I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say Jalen Green. Just think the star is there. Goes to G League Ignite, and he plays really well. Leading scorer and all that stuff. And he's going to become an elite scorer, I'm telling you.
It's interesting because both of the players you guys named were my coin flips for who were my choices were going to be. I think I'm going to have to go with Green just because I've seen what this guy can do on the scoring end. As we know, this is a scorer's league. So in terms of people gonna get praise and accolades, I think it'll be Jalen Green. But I think Evan Mobley's a serious player, and whoever he ends up picking him up, it will be set for a very long time, right, barring no injuries or anything of that sort. But I think he's going to be a great player going forward.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about the draft, or do you guys want to move on?
I'll give you my top 10.
Okay.
Let's hear this. Yeah. Let's hear this.
So let's do from 1 to 10. So number 1, Cade Cunningham, Detroit. 2, Rockets take Jalen Green. 3, Evan Mobley goes to Cleveland. 4, that is Jalen Suggs. 5, this is where it gets interesting with Orlando. I think they're going with Scotty Barnes. for length on the outside. They have a lot on the outside and bigs on their team, but I think they add even more with him. And he provides defense. 6, James Bouknight from UConn, guard. He has risen a lot of draft boards. Before he was like mid to late, but now he is in the top 10. He's a slasher. He has a good handle, explosive at the rim. So they're going to go with him, the Thunder, given they don't trade up, because you never know what's going to happen tonight. 7, Jonathan Kuminga of G League Ignite. Great two-way player. He has the potential to be a star as well, if we're looking back on this draft. And the Warriors have great history with the 7th pick. Chris Mullin, Steph Curry. Okay. Now, 8, that is the Magic again. They really would want Kuminga. Not going to happen. So I say Franz Wagner from Michigan.
He jumps to 8, eh?
I do think so. I look, it's between Orlando and Sacramento for Wagner. He has the 6'9" frame. He has a good skill set, all around skill set for that frame. So he's going to Orlando. Sacramento, Moses Moody. You get someone Bowen on the outside. Good length. He create his own shot, gets the mid-range game. Obviously, he's an athlete. So, from Arkansas, I think you get Moses Moody. And then at number 10 from Australia, Josh Giddey, point guard from Australia. He played with the 36ers in that league. He's a guy that could back up Ja Morant. He's a playmaker. He sees the floor properly. He could dish the basketball out. So watch for him too. He's a good player.
Well, there you have it. Jelani's top 10. I'm not going to go into mine because that'll take too long. But fellas, any more basketball talk? Or we get to get into the National Football League?
Let's do it.
Jelani, I'll give you the floor on this. You're the NFL expert over here, so the floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, yes, at Ryerson, they come to me for the NFL. I'm glad that I could be the resident NFL guy. But yeah, I'm not going to start with my Cowboys. I'm actually going to start off with a team that I don't really like because we've had history with them. Cowboys fans do not like the Packers. However, yeah, I hate them. But I do like Aaron Rodgers, just not when he plays the Cowboys. A fantastic quarterback. We know this. So he comes out with this fantastic press conference yesterday. Why? Because all this, for those who don't know or not following, let's just think about it this way. Kevin Durant is on this team for his whole career. MVPs.
We can't say Durant's like that, man. Like he cut from the Thunder, but I'll let you go.
Let's just pretend that it's Durant that is loyal to one team. Okay. But yeah, so he wins the championship 2010, all this stuff. He's the best talented player in the league, right? And now the problem is he continues to ask for input on this team. Katie's like, I want this guy on this team. Why did you let him go? Why did you? And this team just doesn't care. This organization doesn't care. They said, you know what? Haha, you're the quarterback. Just play football. Okay. That's what's happened here in Green Bay. They have literally disrespected the most talented quarterback in the National Football League that we've seen the past 15 years. Okay. I do not like when Aaron Rodgers plays the Dallas Cowboys, but I know for damn sure he is the best quarterback when you're talking about talent. So the problem is he has one ring, and that was 2010 over the Steelers. Why does he have one championship? He is good enough to have multiple. You see, Brady has 7. Aaron should have at least 3 right now. 3. Now, the problem is with the press conference the other day, he comes out and he says whatever he wanted to. And I love it. He was straight with the point. He's obviously a passive aggressive guy, but he said what he felt. And he felt like he has no input on this team. He felt like the contract situation is not about the money because they offered him like a contract that would be second to Messi's contract in terms of sports, right? It wasn't ever about the money. It was about the personnel and it was about the team. And they don't care about Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. And he even said it. He said, I love the fans. I love the players. I love no, he stopped. He said, I love no, he moved on from that. He doesn't love the organization. It's very tricky. But the contract that they're offering for Aaron is going to be done after this year. So that's why everyone's like, this is the last dance. Okay. Because we know he's gone. He's gone after this year. He's had enough. And they keep knocking on the door. They keep knocking on the door. They should have been to more than one Super Bowl. He's only been to one Super Bowl? Really? Aaron freaking Rodgers? So at the end of the day, I think that, you know what? I'm glad he's come out and said this. The only problem with this whole situation, Bowen and Milan, I just didn't like how he's acting like a diva during the offseason and saying, oh, I want out all this stuff on, golf courses and on TV, talking about, I don't know about my future in Green Bay, all of that just to come back and report for training camp.
I'm not a fan of that.
It was weird.
I'm not a fan of that.
It was really odd.
Really? I have some takes on this.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I think the Packers need to understand you have a Super Bowl team right here. The past how many years? Like 8 years, you guys have been there. You need to listen to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't, like he said, they don't come to play in Green Bay. They come to play with him. Okay. He's the reason why you're relevant right now. Because without him, you wouldn't be here.
I mean, obviously the big thing in this is the whole Jordan Love pick back in the 2020 draft.
Yes.
But looking back over the years, shit happens, right? Like 2015 NFC Championship, Brandon Bostick, he comes down with that onside kick.
Should have won the Super Bowl.
Last year, Scotty Miller doesn't catch that catch before halftime. They're probably in the Super Bowl.
Yep. Don't forget about 2019. They just didn't come out.
They don't run into two buzzsaws in San Francisco and Atlanta 3 years apart from each other. They're in the Super Bowl. So it's just football is a brutal sport to analyze that because, Dan Marino, people could argue he's the best quarterback of all time, but he never won a ring. There's a lot of guys who are ringless, who are great, outstanding players. So it's the ring. We're not talking about the GOAT here, but I mean, I think you have to give the Packers some benefit of the doubt in the sense it's extremely hard to win games in the league. And, Brady, he's always had it. He's always had a pretty good defense. He's had a great coach in Belichick. And then this year, all the pieces are there and they win the title. Right. Jelani, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know, because the Packers, you're looking at their lineup, their personnel has been fantastic the past few years. You could argue they were a better team than a lot of these teams last year. Aaron had it all on offense. Defensively, you have a pretty good front. You have guys in the back end that could play, not really Kevin King, because we saw Brady
tore him apart.
Yeah. So, but they've had a good team. They have a good roster. The only thing is when he's asking them to have input, like, why are you not allowing him to have input? And the thing with the Jordan Love pick, for those who don't know, it was the last draft. They're looking for, he needed a wide receiver. Because he only had Devontae Adams, who's arguably the best in the game, but on the other side, there's nobody. Okay, you get a young player, because the other thing is that was a fantastic wide receiver draft. They didn't do it. At the end of the day, you're looking at it, and they went for a quarterback. Why would you take a quarterback in the first round? And they traded up. Why are you trading up? I don't understand. I don't get it. I could be an NFL GM, and I know that doesn't make any sense when you have Aaron Rodgers over there in your locker room. Okay, so what I'm saying is, this team is this close. They're this close. I honestly think I'm taking them to go to the Super Bowl this year. This is Packers and the Chiefs.
Taking them to win the Super Bowl.
No, go. Patrick Mahomes winning his second ring. Okay, redemption season. Anyway, I think that Aaron Rodgers, he deserves the benefit of the doubt. I think not over the organization. I think we should back Aaron Rodgers on this one, because next year you're going to see it. There's going to be teams lining up for this guy. Okay, when he hits free agency. This is truly the last dance. This is truly the Packers' last shot to win a championship. It's right there for the taking. So if they don't act right, you're going to look back on this team and say it was Brian Gutekunst as the GM who failed. Okay, this organization failed Aaron Rodgers like we've never seen anyone fail a quarterback before. Because Brady, the GOAT, he's been listened to. He's been heard. That's why he has 7 championships right now. Okay, Aaron Rodgers, if you had that, maybe he has multiple rings. I thought he'd had 3 by this time, right? But another thing is, quickly, can't really look past Aaron, because there are some championship games. He's been, 5, I think, 4 or 5, and he hasn't shown up. Atlanta in 2016 doesn't show up. They get hammered by Matt Ryan.
I'd say that's more a factor of Atlanta just being the best team in football that year.
Right. Right, that and that defense, and the defense didn't come through. Like I think the one thing is the defense, but it's also sometimes Aaron falls under pressure. San Francisco didn't play
Yeah, let's go
well
down the
in
line. Let's go down the
2019.
line. I want to talk about this. So 2011, right? They come in at
Mhm.
15-1. They play the Giants. They choke. Okay. What can you say about that? Not much. Next year, they run into Kaepernick. That was Kaepernick's year. The year after that, was that the Seahawks? I'm pretty
Seahawks,
sure.
yeah, Seahawks in 2015
Yep.
or 14 playoffs. Yeah,
I mean, like, it's a bunch of playoff losses. You can't put them all on Rodgers. But again, I'm saying all I'm saying is a lot of it's more down to luck. But yeah, you can't deny the fact that Jordan Love pick was outrageous. Also, I think it was 2015 going into that year. Jordy Nelson tears his ACL in training camp, so there goes your number one receiver. They hit on the Devontae Adams pick. That was great.
yes.
Like what else down the line? You know, they ran into Carolina in the playoffs that year, I think. They ran into the Falcons. They ran into the 49ers in 2019. And then last year they ran into the Bucks.
Last year, that was their best stride.
Exactly.
But also, if you're Aaron Rodgers, all you needed was, a fourth down conversion, get some points on the board. Why would you kick a field goal?
Yeah, I watched
and
that
give
game.
the
That
ball
was ridiculous.
back? Yes.
I watched that game.
Why would you give it back to Brady? Why? We've seen this story before. It's like Harry Potter. How many movies he got? 11. We've seen 11 of these editions of Tom Brady. We've seen it before. So again, I think Aaron Rodgers is his last dance. I think that he's going to go to the Super Bowl. Win it? I don't think so. But next year, there's going to be teams lining up for this guy. Broncos, watch out. Raiders, watch out. Miami, Dolphins, watch out. Okay, for those teams. Or New York, even. The Giants.
The Giants.
Yeah,
Wow,
Danny,
you can see him going over your guy Tua, huh? All right.
Yeah, probably. I do like Tua, but if you got a chance to get Aaron Rodgers, like that's like getting the chance to get who's a comparison for football, for soccer?
Maybe
Like
Messi
Ronaldo or
at this point in
Messi.
his
Like
career, which is
it's one of those guys. Because he's there in that GOAT
Yeah.
conversation. But yeah.
All right, so the first ever part 3 of the podcast. This one's going long, but hey, it's a good conversation. Fellas, what just happened in the NBA? There was a pretty big trade offer on the table that got turned down. So if you guys want to break it down.
Yeah, so I'll give it to you. So the Sixers are asking the Warriors for Wiggins, Wiseman, the number 7 and 14 picks tonight, and 2 future first-round picks for Ben Simmons. Obviously, the Dubs turned that down. I think it's ridiculous what the Sixers are asking for. This is not James Harden. They're trying to make it a Harden-esque.
James Harden was a steal of a deal if that's what they want for Ben Simmons.
Come on. Let's have some reasoning, in these trades. So yeah, just had to point that out.
Ridiculous. Absolutely.
Ask you guys
They're going to
this,
be stuck
though.
with him.
Let me guys ask you this. Is that not aligning with what they want to do, though? If they get Ben Simmons, that's a win now guy. They don't want to wait on these 2 picks they have, plus Wiseman, plus Wiggins to all kind of develop. I think Wiggins is who he is, but we know that Wiseman's a project. We know the 2 picks they pick tonight, if they even pick them, they'll be projects. We look at the timeline, and I know we're going back to basketball here, but we look at the timeline. Wouldn't getting Simmons be a better, fit for kind of where they're going forward in the next couple of years?
You would have to move Dre because they play the same way. Like they're facilitators. They're guys that don't really give you offense. Yes, Dre could hit the 3-pointer occasionally, but like it just wouldn't make sense if they're both on the floor. So no, I don't know. I don't know about this one. Like I'm glad the Warriors turned this down, obviously, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that deal in a million years. I'm going to be honest.
Well, I would have taken it. I would have done it.
You would have taken that?
I would have done it, man.
You're giving up
You get
for this
2
deal?
all NBA guys. You get 3 at their peak in Clay, Draymond, and Ben Simmons. You could be the defensive team with Steph Curry running around firing up threes.
I don't know.
You're right back into the
I don't
playoffs.
know
That's
about
4
that.
very high-level NBA players.
I'd rather try to get either Brad Beal or Dame in there. Not doing that for Ben Simmons. No, not after what I saw.
Yeah, I agree.
To each their own, I guess. To each their own.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, just off of that, are we going back to football?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just wanted
let's
to point that out.
let's give the floor to the biggest Cowboys fan in Toronto, Mr. Jelani Goodridge-Reid.
Yes.
All right, talk to me about the Cowboys this year.
I got the football helmet over there, the Cowboys helmet, and I got the
Of course.
Come on, man. Like I'm always ready. And the blankets over there actually. Anyway, so the Cowboys, this year we're looking pretty good. I know I say that every year. Anyway, look, last year it was tough because Dak Prescott, his ankle just got destroyed. And we lost him for the year. That's why we sucked. We did have a high pick. We got Micah Parsons, linebacker from Penn State, who has the ability and probably going to be one of the better linebackers if he pans out. So things are looking up for us. But the thing is, with the NFL, unlike the NBA, for just a comparison, this is a league that relies on divisions and division rivalries. Like they matter. NBA is just whatever. You make the playoffs and you're done. So playoff spots, very important in terms of division. And Dallas Cowboys fans are looking at Washington right now as the competitor. That is a competition in our NFC East. Some people call it the NFC least.
It's the weakest
because,
one,
yeah. It's just, but even though they call it the least, it's always giving you the most drama. Why? Mostly because we're in it. Anyway, so the Eagles, who I hate with a passion. We know this. The Eagles, the Sheagles, the Seagulls, they won't be doing anything this year. I love it. They're not going to.
Someone clip this because if they end up winning,
we're
Super
clipping
Bowl,
this one.
I want this all over the socials.
No,
I want this all over the socials.
If they make the playoffs, then I will become a curling pundit rather than a football pundit. Okay, honestly, write that down. Okay, they're not making no type of playoffs. Why? Dysfunction. They had Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts saga.
Your guy, Jalen Hurts, Jelani. That's your guy right there.
Yep. Alabama, then obviously went to Oklahoma. I believe that he'll be a good quarterback in this league, but they seem like they don't believe in him. They're even looking at Deshaun Watson, and the problem with that guy is
all these cases. Right there.
Yeah. I don't even know if he's gonna play this year, which sucks. Like he's a good player. It's just I don't know what's going on with that lawsuit or whatever. But yeah, the Eagles, I'm not even worried about them. Yeah. But the team to look out for in the NFC East, the Giants. They did a lot in the offseason. They made moves for their offense. Defensively, they're not as good, but they did stuff. They got Bradbury from Carolina on their defense now, who I like. And, I'm not that happy that they got him. But you also look at Saquon Barkley. He's back from injury from his ACL. He's a candidate for comeback player of the year. I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at Odell Beckham Jr. It's going to be one of those two guys, or Carson Wentz in Indianapolis. So look for those three for the award. But yeah, at the end of the day, this division comes down to quarterback. Who's going to put their team over the edge? You look at Washington, Ryan Fitzpatrick, aka Fitzmagic, the Harvard grad. He's a good player up to week 7. Every year, week 7, it happens. Oh, everyone's like, oh, the Fitzmagic is back. The magic is in the building. No, it's not. It fades away week 7 every year. The mid-year, that's when you expect the carousel to go on and people like, okay, do we start him? Do we not? It happens every year. Do you believe in him, Bowen? I don't know if you do. But if he does play well, they're going to the playoffs. The thing is, with Washington, I hate them, but their defense is stellar. Like
a couple years ago. With sorry to cut you off there, Jelani, but a couple of years ago, it was Bucks Steelers on Monday Night Football. Fitzmagic hit a wall. Like that's all I needed to see right there. So he's a good quarterback. He's not going to elevate you to anything greater than maybe a wild card round. And yeah, I think I'd say honestly the Cowboys at full strength. I know they get all the hype every year, but they have to be the NFC East champs this year, man. Like
we have this year, Milan, I'm telling you, like you're looking, let's just pretend it's a team that has like the most talent in the division. Okay. You need to get the division title just to secure a top 4 spot in the playoffs. Obviously, they added a team in the playoffs, so there's 7 now.
Yeah.
So you never know. Maybe that might be us or Washington or something. But I think when you're looking at the division, who's going to win it? Obviously, I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys. No, I don't take them every year.
Where are you taking them this year?
This year, I do think because Dak, we have a quarterback this time. We have someone who could actually deliver the football to our offense. Zeke is still there. Zeke is still a guy who gets disrespected. Okay, he's been the most consistent guy for the past 5 years, and people are acting like he's fallen off. No, he hasn't. Look at the numbers, please. I be my guest. Look at the numbers. I think he's gonna catapult himself back into that conversation for top 5 running back in the league. I think he's gonna have a big year. You have the wide receivers, Michael Gallup, most underrated in the game, along with Keenan Allen in LA. You have CeeDee Lamb, who to me was the best rookie wide receiver with Justin Jefferson, and then Amari Cooper, that's my guy. We know about that. It's the defense. Hello, last year I could have played on that defense and had the most tackles on that defense. I've played the game. I've played defense actually, and I know how to wrap. It's head to the side, shoulder pad, wrap. That's how you make a tackle in football. They didn't do that last year. That is why we sucked. We had an all-time worst defense for Dallas Cowboys history and NFL history. Okay, I'm not about it. We're America's team. I know I'm in Toronto. We're in America's team.
Well, hey, you're closest to Buffalo, man.
Right.
My team. Let's go.
You see, that's our model. We need to be Buffalo, okay? Because Buffalo is a team that has a good defense. If we don't have a good defense, we could kiss that NFC East title goodbye. We could kiss a playoff spot goodbye, because the NFC, a lot of good teams are in there. Bucks, Niners, the Saints, not anymore with Breeze gone. No, they're not.
Rams,
Cardinals, Rams,
Seahawks.
Rams are serious this year, right?
Seahawks, yeah.
You could throw the
Seahawks.
Panthers in there, maybe. I don't know.
Packers, the Panthers, not yet. Vikings, Kirk Cousins, I don't know. Bears, I don't know. Washington, like there's so many teams, so we need to show up. The offense talent is there. What's coach going to do? Coach McCarthy. I do think we're making the playoffs. If you're going to ask me, are we going to win some games in the playoffs? Like how far?
Yeah. What's your ceiling?
What's the Cowboys ceiling this year?
Ceiling, I hate to say it, even though we need to make the conference finals. The last time we made the conference championship, you want to guess?
1990.
Last time the boys made the conference title game?
Yeah, it was.
Probably in the 90s,
Yeah. It was the year, I think it was the year that the Raptors were born. Or
95.
95.
Yes. That season. Do you know how long that is? That's disgusting. For the Jaguars to have almost made the Super Bowl 4 years ago, and we're still sitting here? No. Jerry, I'm calling you. Okay, please get this done. If this doesn't happen, do we fire McCarthy? Like that's something we have to look on.
Jaguars should have made the Super Bowl.
We saw how long it took with Jason Garrett though. So will he fire Mike McCarthy?
Oh my god.
This guy got a headache here.
Oh my gosh.
I got a headache here.
Oh my gosh. That guy, Jason Garrett. Oh my gosh. Talk about a guy that doesn't push these guys. Anyway, I think second round. That is
second round's the ceiling.
Yeah. Because the Bucks are there, we're not gonna beat those guys. The Packers, we're not gonna beat them. The Rams are better than us. The Niners were maybe with them. I don't know. Even with that, I'm not that confident. Seahawks, like there's so many teams. So second round max. But we're gonna win a playoff. We're gonna win a playoff.
I think that's respectable. Like you said, it's the toughest part. It's the NFC's the toughest side of the NFL, right?
It's just hard to tell like who it is. Like the AFC is the Chiefs and Bills and like the Ravens,
Browns.
Maybe, but Browns are
Browns.
Serious. They're not. Yeah, the Browns could go to Super Bowl. I'm not even lying. Like they're not the old Browns. Yeah, they're not the old Browns. That's my take on the Cowboys. I think second round max. But just prepare for the takes, prepare for the rants, because they're coming out week 1. That's September, first week. Be ready. We're playing the Bucs first game. Why would they do that to us? I don't know.
Because you guys are gonna bring the money.
I know.
You guys are gonna bring the money.
Baby. All about the ratings.
I know, but we might get slaughtered by this team. Oh my gosh. I hate Brady has never lost to us before since he's been in the league. He's been in the league since 01. So
holy smokes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, is there anything else we want to talk about in terms of the NFL, or do we want to move on to Jogador?
Oh no, we're good. We're good.
We're good to go. All right. So Jogador, obviously we've explained the segment to Jelani. Jelani, do you want to start off with your pick for Jogador
Yeah,
for this
so
week?
I put a few things in the doc. So I'm gonna have to give a shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks. I've been so busy with everything I've been doing, so I haven't even gotten to my own show. So I haven't even really told people my thoughts on this. So I'm happy that the Bucks won the championship. It brings new flavor to the NBA. I'm tired of the super team era. It's coming back though because it's just that's where we are. Giannis, I love just his story. He's such a different type of guy. Doesn't take the BS. He played hard. His knee went the other way just a week before the finals, and he gave us one of the best game sixes you'll ever see in any sport. He was just fantastic. Couldn't miss all night. Shout out to them. The Suns were a good team. I feel bad for Chris and D Book and Monty Williams, who was my coach of the year pick. But at the end of the day, the Bucks, they're probably ushering in a new era because you might look at them in the mid-decade, say at that time they might have multiple rings. You never know. I'm looking at them maybe as the next team coming up. Dynasty, no, I don't think they're going to be a dynasty, but it might be like the Spurs dynasty, who wins one, doesn't win for a bit, wins another. But yeah, no, shout out to the Bucks. And also, I want to just shout out to the Canadian Olympic team. A lot of these women are just crushing right now, killing it. Yes, all the things are on at like 4 a.m. I'm asleep, so I get the reruns. But I do see what they're doing. Shout out to like Penny, like I call her the chosen one, helping us get those medals. Judo,
Let's go, Judo.
Yeah.
Jessica, you see it, Catherine Boschman,
Yeah, right.
I'm getting to that. To that. You finish off. I'm getting to that.
So I shout out to them. I saw we just got something for I think rowing, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, no, shout out to everyone out there. Obviously, it's a different type of Olympics, but they're still coming through. I think we're top 10 for medals, or 11.
And that's
for
us to do that in the Summer Olympics. That's big because we're not a Summer Games kind of country.
Yeah.
Listen, we dominate the Winter Olympics. It's us and maybe Russia in the Winter Olympics. But the Summer Games, that's all US and China, right?
Yep.
And for us to be competing this much, it's impressive. And all the athletes that are coming through are still so young, which means we still have a good 2 or 3 Olympics that we're gonna be in this top 10 or higher. You know what I mean?
And I expect more medals.
Hats off to the Olympic team for sure.
Yeah, I expect more medals probably for the women's soccer. I expect something for track. There's going to be some stuff for track. I'm a huge track fan. If you're talking about like a sport that's not mainstream, that's like my favorite one that's not mainstream. So there's a lot of upside. There's a lot of things to look out for. Obviously, about DeGrasse and things like that. But yeah, no, look for us out there with track and field.
You want to go on first, Bone?
Yeah, I'm just going to say going from amateur athletes to amateur athletes, he shares my last name, Cade Cunningham. Shout out to him, man. I think he's going number 1 overall tonight. I think he's going to do great things in the league. And, if he is the number 1 overall pick tonight, have a hell of a night, sir. You've earned it. First overall pick, Cade Cunningham. Let's go, baby.
You're going to get his jersey for sure.
I might have to, man. I might have to. Little Pistons throwback. Yes, sir.
That's fire. I rate that. For my Jogador, I'm actually going to pick the entire Canadian judo team. Guys, I've been coming into this, believe it was last week we talked about it. I was talking about you guys got to keep an eye on the Canadian judo team. They're legit, right? Guess Jessica Klimke came in as the world number 1 into the Olympics. Unfortunately, because of that, Krista Deguchi missed out, who's also a fantastic fighter. It was them fighting for gold medal tournament after tournament throughout qualifying. You had I'm forgetting his name now. He fought in the same day as her, but he got to the bronze medal match. He fought fantastic as well. I trained with Jessica back when I used to train for the Ontario team. I used to train with Jessica as well. So it's fantastic to see her get to this level. And, I know a gold medal is coming. She's still so young. She's definitely going to be fighting for that gold medal come the next Olympics, or her or Krista. Catherine Boschman Pinard, another fantastic fight in that bronze medal match. Like beautiful, beautiful judo. It's different because we're not like the Georgian and the Uzbekistani and the Azerbaijan team where we use power and grip strength to over muscle them. We use proper judo. We use you use the breaking of the balance, the kuzushi. There's so much, talent in this side. As we know, Canada comes from all over the world. We have Shadi El Nahas, one of my buddies from judo. I used to train with this guy back in the day. He fought yesterday in the minus 100 kilo division, came through with 2 straight wins, fought the world number 1 in the quarterfinals, unfortunately lost with only 3 seconds left. Fought in the repechage, got to the bronze medal match, and then fought the world number 2 in the bronze medal match, unfortunately lost in literally the last seconds. It happens, right? He's still so young at 23 years of age. What a performance from him. I got to give these guys a shout out because they've been doing fantastic. We got the minus 100 division or plus 100 division today. I'm only really going to be watching for Teddy Rene. He's if you guys don't know about judo, he's the big guy. He's lost 1 time in the last 10 years. He's the GOAT. He's one of the all-time GOATs. And he's, I believe, back-to-back on gold medals in the Olympics. He could 3-peat tonight. So yeah, unfortunately it is starting at 10 a.m. ending around 6:30 in the morning. That's tough. I messed up my sleeping schedule entirely. I barely sleep these days, but it's all right. We got to watch. We got to support. This is the pinnacle of judo, the World Cup and all these kind of tournaments. They don't matter as much as the Olympics. Kids in judo grow up wanting an Olympic gold medal for their country. And I'm very happy to see the Canadian team blossom like this. And we're going to be back in Paris 2024. We're going to win a gold. Easy.
All right, write that down.
Yeah, write that down. I'll write that down right now.
Keep that on record. Shadi El Nahas, gold medal in minus 100. You heard it here first.
All right, 2024, Paris.
It's in the document. It's
Anyways, is there anything else you guys wanted to add on, or do you guys want to wrap up here?
I know we're good. I think I covered everything. I'm going on rants all the time.
We love it. That's why we love having guests. We love having different opinions. Yep. We love hearing different takes. Me and Bowen most times we agree on most things. There are a few times we have a little bit of bias towards, it's the same. We love having a little back and forth here, but Jelani, it's been a pleasure to have you here. I'm definitely going to put everything this guy does in the description. This guy's an editor, a podcaster, TikToker. This is TikTok. This is Jelani A. Reid. This is Jelani A. Reid right here.
I know.
This is Jelani Antonio Reid.
No sleep, bro. No sleep, bro. I'm telling you. I always do like the graphics for Northside. Those swipe posts, I get them done at night because they take a while. But yeah, no, just support the cause. And if you guys don't know me, I obviously go to Ryerson for sport media with these 2 buttes over here, and we'll be back in the fall.
Yes, sir. On behalf of us at SBST and Jelani, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.
Easy.